Hello and welcome to my Age of Wonders 4 build guide. The build today will be based on the Living Fog unit. This is a summonable unit from the tier 4 Tome of Oblivion. And when you just look at this unit initially, it looks like a pretty bad unit. Doesn't really have any special abilities or anything. And it has this one attack, then only does 10 damage, which is pretty terrible for a tier 4 unit. But if we actually go into this attack and look, not only will it inflict insanity, which is pretty nice, but more importantly, it is unblockable damage. The damage cannot be reduced by defense or resistance, so this goes through 100% of the enemy's defense and resistance, which means it's actually doing probably like a double, at least double, possibly triple if it's like a shield unit or like a bulwark unit. Furthermore, because this is a fighter unit, it can also benefit from unit enhancements, and so you can get unit enhancements such as fire weapons, frost weapons, lightning weapons, all of these unit enhancements that will increase the damage by 2 on a normal unit, but because this unit's attacks go through 100% of the defense and resistance, you're getting much more effectiveness out of those unit enhancements than you would with any other unit in the game. So getting a lot of unit enhancements that will increase the unit's damage on this Living Fog unit is very effective. These Living Fogs also have the Fearless trait, so they cannot rout due to low morale, which is nice. Usually you only see this on tier 5 units, so it's kind of rare on a tier 4. And they also have both Slippery, like a skirmisher unit, even though it's a fighter unit, so it won't trigger any opportunity attacks, and they can pass through obstacles and other units, which makes flanking and diving the back line with these units very easy compared to other units. So when you're creating your faction, for the racial traits, I like to take Arctic adaptation on this build, and Living Fogs are not a racial unit, so they won't benefit from any of the traits here, so it's not really super important. Just pick whatever will help you in the early game. If you don't really have any thing that you specifically want, resistance and tough is pretty good. For our culture, we go the Mystic culture. This will give us extra Astral affinity, which is great for this build, and it will also give us Star Blades, which can give the Living Fog units an extra 3 damage, and because they bypass all resistance, it's more effective on them than in most units. For the society traits, I'm picking up Mana Channelers and Gifted Casters. And our first tome will be the Tome of Cryomancy. For this build, when we're leveling up our ruler, we will want to take our first 2 signature skills in Shadow. You can reset these later, but we're going to need this affinity to take the tomes. Okay, as for our tomes, our first tome we got was the Tome of Cryomancy. This tome gives us a lot of things for this build. It's one of the best tomes in general. It gives 2 great spells, it'll give us a good summon to use, and it's also going to give us a unit enhancement for our Living Fogs. Another thing that's really great is the School of Cryomancy Special Province Improvement. It's a free research post, and because we took Arctic adaptation and we start in the snow, we'll also be getting a lot of mana from these Special Province improvements, which will help us to be able to field a large army of summons very early in the game. Our next tier 1 tome is the Tome of Evocation. This will give us some Astral affinity. We'll get the Lightning Blades unit enhancement for our Fogmen, and we also get a Conduit improvement for some more mana. Our first tier 2 tome will be the Tome of Revelry. We get another unit enhancement to increase the damage of our Living Fogs. We also get the Scald unit, which is a wonderful support unit. We get a hero skill that will increase the critical damage of all our non-hero units. Our next tier 2 tome is the Tome of Artificing. We're mostly taking this for Artisan Armaments. It will give all our Living Fogs a 30% crit chance. And it's also pretty good even before you have Living Fogs because it affects pretty much every unit in the game, so it's a very cheap way of getting some extra damage on all your units. There's also the Golem Mine special improvement, which can be nice to build. It'll give you some extra gold. Our first tier 3 tome is going to be the Tome of the Cold Dark. This tome has several pretty nice spells, and it has a new summon for you to use. And most importantly, the Frostfire special province improvement. This thing will really supercharge your research because you're not only getting the 10 knowledge, you're getting an additional 3 knowledge for every adjacent snow or ice province, which should be like pretty much every adjacent province, especially with the Marching Winter to terraform any land that isn't already snow. And then our next tier 3 tome, we're actually just going to go back and get another tier 1 tome, the Tome of Pyromancy. We're really only getting this for the Searing Blades unit enhancement to increase the damage of our Living Fogs a little bit. There's also the Ritual Pyre, which will give us some more mana. Our first tier 4 tome will be the Tome of Oblivion. This tome is needed to summon the Living Fog unit, so we need to get this tome. There's also this Sleep of Oblivion spell. This spell is super strong. You can just straight up like kill a tier 5 unit. You target a non-hero unit and it dies, and then after 2 turns it comes back to life with 75% of its hit points, but it's also insane, so it might attack its own friends. And a special thing about this spell specifically is that if you use it on something and then you destroy the unit's corpse with like a dark ritual or like cannibalism or something, then it will not come back to life after 2 turns. So if you combo this with like a dark ritual, you can just straight up kill like a tier 5 unit and there's not really much that can be done about it. Our next tier 4 tome is going to be the Tome of Astral Convergence. We mostly just need the Astral Affinity. This gives you some spells. I guess you can transform your race, and there's some other spells that could be useful in combat. And then our tier 5 tome will be the Tome of the Archmage. This gives 2 extremely powerful spells, Disruption Wave and Time Stop, and it also will give a unit enhancement for all our Living Fogs that will give them 30% extra damage. It will give them very fast movement, and this includes both on the world map as well as in combat. So it's a very strong unit enhancement. You can also get Maximize Magic on any of your mage heroes, which will give them extra crit chance and accuracy. Okay, let's see how they perform in combat. So as you can see, they hit really hard.